Hello, friends, and welcome to today's episode of Legal Talkies with Abhijit Negi. I'm your host, Advocate Abhijit Negi, practicing in the Delhi District Courts as well as the Delhi High Court. Today, I wish to speak very briefly on a very important subject, which is AI and the law. As we know, AI is here in all facets of our lives. Already, it has started making inroads into educational sector, into the media, and various other facets of our daily lives. So, of course, when AI is present in all facets of our life, it was already a point in time. It was felt that we are already lagging behind as insofar as its regulation is concerned, insofar as the policy and the guidelines are concerned around the same. So, the government of India last year, as of 5th November, released India's AI governance guidelines, and they provide for the comprehensive national framework to ensure safe, responsible, and inclusive development of AI in India. While that is the avowed objective, the guidelines also go on to tell us something very important, that they recognize that AI is today a major driver of economic growth and social change. At the same time, it also concedes that it poses certain risks to individuals and society, which some of which include bias, discrimination, and unfair outcomes, exclusion, and lack of transparency. To address these risks, certain safeguards are provided in the AI governance guidelines. We must also not lose track of the fact that India is now going to be hosting very soon the fourth edition of the AI Summit in 2026 in the month of February in the capital, New Delhi itself. Now, I wish to also briefly speak about the fact that in addition to these guidelines, we already have certain laws, the pre-existing laws, which are being tweaked to ensure that there is adequate compliance and regulation of AI as far as India is concerned in its legal uh, aspects as well. Some of which is, of course, some of the laws that are existing already and which need to be tweaked are the Information Technology Act, or the IT Act as it's popularly known, the intermediary rules, and so on and so forth. But beginning with the IT Act could be a very important aspect that we can be looking forward from the government in terms of regulation of AI as far as the legal laws are concerned, the laws are concerned, right? But I wish to also address very briefly about a legislation which has been moved as a private member bill by a BJP member from Madhya Pradesh, which is the Artificial Intelligence Ethics and Accountability Bill 2025, which has been introduced in the Lok Sabha some time back. And the bill seeks to majorly address the following challenges. That is, namely, one, establishing a comprehensive framework for ethical AI deployments. Second, ensuring transparency, fairness, and accountability in AI systems. Third, protecting individuals and communities from harm caused by unethical or biased AI applications. And lastly, fourth, promoting innovation and trust in AI technologies through clear regulatory guidelines. So, this bill is currently being deliberated in the Parliament of India and in the Lok Sabha. Let's see. It'll be interesting to see how it further develops and whether it is actually passed or not, and in what form and with what safeguards it is passed, with what provisions, is something we'll have to wait and watch out for. While, of course, there is a lot of information available about the AI guidelines that have come out, there has also been some critique that India's AI governance plan is actually a much ado about nothing. And certain facets, it can be said to be an extension of the DPI, or the Digital Public Infrastructure, which has been a major thrust push of this present government at the center. However, there's one point that I wish to importantly highlight, which I think is important enough to be highlighted, which is about the accountability and liability under these guidelines. It appears that the AI document, or the AI guidelines, is conspicuously light on accountability and liability questions. Now, I want you to take a pause here and think about what could be that which it's missing in terms of accountability and liability questions. But I wish to only state this, that while acknowledging the risk posed by the use of AI, it largely tends to pass the buck on taking greater action and concluding, and I quote, many of the risks associated with AI can be addressed under existing laws, unquote. In such cases, it is diagnosing the primary problem as a lack of predictable and timely enforcement. However, even on this issue, aside from some homilies about regulators needing to be vigilant, it offers no substantive contribution. Now, with the particular question of liability, the guidelines appear to recommend a graded system of penalties, while in the same breath warning against accountability mechanisms, stifling innovation. The guidelines immediately move towards self regulations and have prescribed the setting up of an AI governance group, or AIGG as it is known as in its short form. Well, finally, I want to also address the point that any specificity in the guidelines is being reserved for the issue of regulating deepfakes. It suggests that these new board or the AI governance group could review tools for watermarking and labeling AI created materials to pinpoint its source, potentially tracking it back to the specific databases or large language model or LLMs as we know, which were used to generate it. This is a clear reference to the latest amendment in the IT rules of 2021, which mandates labeling by platforms. And together, you can make out that these facets clearly align with India's hands-off approach to AI regulation, choosing to even some of the more controversial use cases, such as facial recognition in public services, are given a wide berth. Only the politically sensitive issue of deepfakes has so far been singled out for regulation under these guidelines. To, to conclude, I would like to say that while these guidelines envision self-regulation, it remains to be seen as to what form the ensuing industry codes of conduct or model regulations may take. And finally, aside from allowing the Indian government to tick off the need for a governance framework at the upcoming February's AI Summit, Impact Summit, it doesn't seem to have achieved much apart from the same, apart from that. Let's hope that something better comes out of these guidelines and that we're able to understand how they help us as we go forward and understand. It remains to be seen how they are implemented actually in practice. Because at the end of the day, these are just guidelines, these are regulatory guidelines, and these guidelines appear to be a little light in terms of tackling the issue of uh, regulation while relegating regulation to self regulation, and as well as the issue of accountability and liability. It remains to be seen how these issues are addressed. Thank you for your time, and that is it in today's episode. I hope you've liked today's episode on AI and the law and that it was informative. Please do like, share, and subscribe, and also offer your inputs so that the same can be incorporated and further deliberated upon. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day.